Renaldo, for those who could be going through depression and hopelessness, you know, that pit that they feel in their stomach, what would you say to them, and what could help them in circumstances like that?
No problem. As Pastor Peter mentioned, I did go through depression. It's really debilitating, even as Sheila said. It's like you feel like you can't even move, you feel even physically in your body. It's something so heavy, and it really comes down to. I love what the Bible says. I mean, some of you may know the story of David in Ziklag, and you know, while him and his men were away, it's like there was an army that came in, ransacked the place, ran off with their wives, their children, their things, and all the men began to weep, began to mourn, and they all started blaming David for what took place. And I love what happened there, because I mean, depression was right at David's doorstep. I mean, his wife, his kids were taken, the wives and kids of his army, of his men were taken. These are probably his friends as well. So he's mourning not just for himself, but even for his friends. And all of the blame, all the pressure is now coming upon David. And I love what the Bible says. It says that, but David went and he strengthened himself in the Lord. He encouraged himself in the Lord. And that's really what it comes down to. It comes down to you have to purpose in yourself, as hard as that is, to go before the Lord. And even if I've been in that place where it's like I don't even have words to pray. I don't know. It's like that's where it becomes real. It's like you can't put on a religious mask. You can't go through the motions. It's like all of a sudden in that moment, it's like it becomes real, because the Lord doesn't show up in that moment. You're liable to even kill yourself, because those are some of the thoughts that were going through my mind. I would think to myself, I'd be like, I would go to sleep at night and I would hope in my heart, I'd be like, I hope I don't wake up tomorrow morning, you know, because the only time where I felt at peace was when I was sleeping. You know what I mean? And so in those moments, you need it to become real. It comes to those points where you just have to go before God, and whatever comes out of your mouth comes out, and you just have to be real and transparent before the Lord and say, God, I just need you. I've said that so many times, to say, God, I need you. I don't have any fancy prayers to pray. I don't have any scriptures to quote. I don't have, all I have is just me. I'm here before you, God. And Lord, if you don't show up, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I need you. And it's in those moments like God responds to that. He responds to those earnest prayers of your heart, those cries, those subtle cries of desperation. It may even be, you may only be able to muster up the strength just to whisper, but to God, it's a cry, it's a loud shout of desperation. And God always responds to that heart cry, to the heart that's desperate, to the heart that is struggling. The Bible says, even in, I believe it's Isaiah 57, he says that, you know, I dwell in a high and holy hill, but I also live with the broken in heart and the contrite in spirit, to revive them, to revive the broken heart, to revive the contrite in spirit. And so that is where God lives. God inhabits that place. God dwells in that place with those who are broken hearted, with those who are lowly in spirit and who are contrite in heart, those who are hurting on the inside. He comes, and he comes with this express purpose to revive them. Because when you're struggling with depression, it's almost like you feel like death is on you. You feel like death is on the inside of you even. It's like, it's just all over you. But God comes in those moments, and he comes with the purpose of reviving you. And it doesn't say he comes to visit, but he says, I live with those who are lowly in spirit, who have broken hearts, and I come and I live there with the purpose of reviving them, of causing them to come to life again. And so it's all about, regardless of what happens or how you feel, just coming into the presence of the Lord, calling on his name, and watching him come, because he will come, he will encounter you, and he will deliver you, because he is and has always been a God of deliverance.